everything, but you're still forced to work. You still have to come to work. And that's that change, I think, in slavery is people think that it went away. It just morphed. As a species, you're not meant to sit behind a computer screen in a cubicle for 10 hours a day. You're just not. It's not natural.
Yeah.
And that's where I look at with money tying into all these different things. I think it all comes down to money. All these different things. The root of it. I mean, the evolution, yes, slaves were brought over, hands down. We know that. And then, I mean, there's still places in the South you go, and they're still segregated. There's segregated buses and schools, and it's just not talked about.
Yeah, and I'm not all right with that.
No, not at all.
Like for me as a, you know what I mean, a white guy that lives here in Utah, like I'm not all right with it. I think it, not only does it suck, I think it just needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just needs to stop.
Definitely. But I think there's a lot of problems for a lot of different colored people and for women too. So for me to pick one fight, for me, it's hard to say. Where do you put that energy? How do you decide? You know, right now it's very heated because of all of the events that are going on right now. There's still a lot of battles going on for women's rights, reproductive rights. Huge right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. In the world I see, what I would hope is you don't have any more different color problems. You just have human problems. Like you should have that opportunity to go to college, to finish school, to not be hooked on drugs, you know, or have to sell drugs to feed your baby, or to be threatened with jail, you know, or to anytime you get pulled over by the cops or worry if you're going to get proned out on the hood. That's a scary thing. I've been on the other side of that, and it's scary.
Yeah.
You know, so the only answer I see, and I don't know how a system would work other than a resource-based economy to get rid of that part of that puzzle, is the monetary side, the greed side. Other than that, I don't know that there's just one answer to peg one of these things, because you can focus on the one thing, but you've got 5 other things popping up, you know.
I can see that to a point. I agree with the many different races, many different colors, and the setbacks that has faced women. Obviously, I'm familiar with that. But I can't, I'm probably misunderstanding, but it kind of seems like, well, it's also big. There's so many, where do I start? So I'm just going to just not fight. And that kind of goes to your, like, you've got us pegged against each other. We're fighting. And I can see that if we're distracted fighting. However, if we're not fighting at this point, and I hate that it's a fight. I hate, for sure. But if we're not fighting, then the people that are in charge, then it's going to turn into a conformity.
For sure.
So I'm having a hard time understanding. I think I missed your point then.
So I think what I would say is, yes, we do need to reform all of the police.
Okay.
All the police systems, because they are geared towards, especially depending on where you are in the country, very specifically on like racial profiling. You pull over a black male, guess what? It's on, you know. It's just the way it is. You need to be scared. You've got like vengeance, a badge, and a gun in some places where people use that. And I definitely agree that there's definitely racism all over in the country, for sure. But in this fight, what makes this fight any more noble than all of the kids that grew up gay and made fun of and bullied, or they're trans, or they're lesbian? What makes this fight any more important than their fight? That's where I have a battle is.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm saying we shouldn't fight these battles.
Okay.
It's to say, how do you pick? How do you pick what you're going to get behind? Do we get behind all of them?
Why not?
Yeah, but what does that actually mean for me on a day-to-day? Am I out marching? Am I out writing my Congress? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the physical fight. I can say I'm behind you, and I can like something on Facebook all day long, but does that really make any change? Are you really changing something?
Well, what does it mean for you?
For me, right here,
us
talking about it, that is what can help change. That's that grassroots. You're trying to help open people's eyes. you're hoping that somebody will hear this that has never been exposed to any of this stuff. They might share it with a friend. Like, listen to this. Maybe do some of your own research. Look up some of this stuff and grow from there. It's growing that idea that you can talk to somebody about something and not fight. It's not an argument, you know? So it's not to downplay what's going on with race in the country. That's not it. Because I am completely behind all the people standing up and protesting. I'm not all for rioting, but I am all for protesting, for sure. But I also am behind all the gay rights advocates, all of these guys. I'm behind women's rights, you know, and it's hard to see a world where all of that stuff is equal. All these little fights that we have going on, like simultaneously. It's a weird time in human history right now. There's a lot going on, for sure.